Amazing. So Dr. Joseph Mercola, if you're unfamiliar, is a 67-year-old osteopath in Cape Coral, Florida. He's originally from Chicago, and he became one of the pioneers of supplement and alt health product online marketing in the 90s. His 2003 book, The No Grain Diet, was a New York Times bestseller. He has since published books almost yearly. The New York Times article points out that he's made many far-fetched claims over the years, including, for example, that the springs in your mattress will amplify radiation. And then, of course, he quickly turns around after any claim like this to give you his pitch for whatever the snake oil is that he claims will protect you from this made-up threat to your health. Take control of your health, urges his website banner, and that's really the slogan he operates under. Mercola Consulting Services has offices in Florida and the Philippines that churn out newsletters, blog posts, and videos to a network of websites across social media. All of this stuff is A/B tested, so he's up on the latest marketing techniques, and it's all driven to go as viral as possible. The messaging is distributed in almost a dozen languages around the world. He has at least 2.7 million followers on Facebook. About a third of those are on his Spanish language Facebook page. And that's before you even factor in the 17 other pages that researchers cite as associated with his company. He has 300,000 followers on Twitter, 400 on YouTube, 400,000. And his top dog spot on the Disinfo Dozen list was earned in part for publishing over 600 articles to Facebook that cast doubt on COVID vaccines alone. Keeping it all in the family, Mercola's girlfriend and one-time employee, Erin Elizabeth, clocks in at number 7 on that list.
I am like 600 articles to Facebook that count. So was there a share rate for those articles? I mean, it must be in the millions.
Yeah, I would think
Reaching
so.
millions and millions. It's incredible. I'm waiting for the data analysis that can start to link the amount of that material to exactly how the needle moved on vax hesitancy in various areas. I don't know who's going to be able to do that.
It just so happens that Mercola also has the current best-selling book in any category. So book number 1 on Amazon, titled The Truth About COVID-19, Exposing the Great Reset, Lockdowns, Vaccine Passports, and the New Normal. So conspiracy theorist in chief. Noteworthy is that in Amazon's frequently bought together section, that appears underneath the product, the recommendation there is to also get a book titled American Marxism by Stop the Steal proponent and COVID denialist right-wing author and radio host Mark Levin. Now, here's the twist in the tale. Tuesday, Mercola releases a direct-to-camera video on his YouTube channel with haunting minor chord piano music playing behind him, lamenting the New York Times article and the Disinformation Dozen designation. He claims the article is just filled with falsehoods, but he doesn't name or correct any of them. It's just filled with falsehoods.
Right.
And then comes this.
So the course of action I'm now forced to take is to remove my entire archive of articles. 25 years worth of blood, sweat, and tears coming down. I know. I can hardly believe I am saying these words. It's a testament to how radical things have degenerated in the recent past. Going forward, each new article will only be available for 48 hours. COVID-19 has activated emergency authorization powers that have weakened our constitutional rights. Sadly, cyber warfare and authoritarian forces are beyond our abilities to withstand, and this is now the only way forward. Over 15,000 articles full of vital information that has helped hundreds of millions of people across the world take control of their health will be removed. There was a time when people could debate and respect each other freely. That time is now gone. The silence of free speech is now deafening.
The video weaves perhaps predictable B-roll footage of books being burned and Biden speaking at a podium, etc. But then, and this goes with the anti-Semitic stuff we've been talking about, he also features old anti-communist McCarthy hearing footage, as well as images of protesters clearly, if you know anything, engaged in the anti-police brutality hands up, don't shoot gesture while they carry pictures of Mike Brown. He ends up by saying,
"Remember, your body was designed to stay healthy. You hold in your hands the power to take control of your health, and never, never let anyone take your right to health away from you."
This deep voice is great. It's almost Morgan Freeman territory. Over a montage of dizzying mainstream media logos, a creepy clip art portrait of, you guessed it, Bill Gates, And those same Mike Brown protesters, all wearing masks, by the way, and an Albert Einstein quote, "Science can only flourish in an atmosphere of free speech," which is, again, a statement against communist dictatorships. He then lists all of his social newsletter and website links, and the video fades with that haunting piano music. So this is wild stuff. I mean, it's free speech martyrdom, right? It's pseudoscience is actually a form of free speech, but we're just going to call it science. But then it's also this weird, like, obscurantist thing, because I have my own thoughts about why he may be taking down all of his content. What do you guys think?
Did he get a letter from the AG? There's got to be legal threats involved.
He's been sued a number of times. Right. It's not just once. The FDA has come after him a few times.
Right.
So be clear on that. And getting back to your question, Julian, what I want to point out is with charlatans like this, you don't acquire or accumulate $100 million worth of wealth by being honest with your information in the way that he has. I shared with you earlier, you probably haven't watched it yet, but shout out to Jules Evans for sharing it with me, this video that two young men made in the UK. The leading anti-vaxxer there is a guy named Piers Corbyn, and they set up and filmed a meeting with him acting as businessmen who made a lot of money from AstraZeneca, and they offered him £10,000 to not stop anti-vax disinformation, but to only focus on Pfizer and Moderna and leave AstraZeneca alone. And he completely agrees to it. And it's all on tape, and it's right there. And you even see his thought process. Well, since it's not an mRNA vaccine, I can focus on that and leave AstraZeneca alone. And you watch it, and Mercola is the biggest huckster out there. Like, the disinformation does, and the rest of them wish they had his juju and what he's, he is their godfather. And for him to, first of all, of course, he's not going to own up to any falsehoods. Like, this is all documented. Just go to his Wikipedia page and look at all of the links to all the times. I mean, you don't need to go deeper than that, but you can. And it's so blatant. So, and the fact that he's just getting even more support, a level of martyrdom during this time, is so frustrating.
Yeah, he went on Dave Asprey's podcast today or yesterday, and Asprey touted him as the most censored man in history, and asked him, if you had a gun to your head, which of the vaccines would you take? And he said none of them. And Asprey said, so you take the bullet? And he said, yeah, I'm going to die anyway. I'm old.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah, we'll have an Asprey episode coming up soon, because I've long wanted to cover that guy. But Mercola laid the blueprint for what Asprey has done. So makes sense that they would get together.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of my question, I feel like it seems fairly transparent to me that he's like, oh shit, I'm getting all of this heat. I better remove my entire 25 years of fallacious claims and bullshit things that I haven't been called out on yet.
Thank you for answering your question, because I punted.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. It's just like, he's going to tell this whole story and then be like, so the action we're forced to take is take down all of my 25 years worth of content and have anything new I put up only be available for 48 hours. Like, and why is that exactly?
Well, fortunately, the Internet Archive exists, the Wayback Machine, so I'm sure it will be captured for investigators who need to find that information down the line.
So one last question. Was Eisenstein's link to Mercola in place before the New York Times article was published, or after?
Before.
All right. We'll see if there's an edit, I suppose. And
you guys get what I'm saying, right? In terms of like, either it's the Jews are behind the conspiracies, or we're being treated like Jews during the Holocaust. Like you have to pick one or the other. And the same thing with like, I'm gonna take all these right-wing positions, but then I'm gonna say that this is similar to McCarthyism, or that I'm gonna like try and have a sort of affinity with Black Lives Matter anti-police brutality protesters.
Yeah, it's political Jabberwocky. There's nothing but theater going on. These are not people who really even care about these issues, and that's why I think Dale Barron really holds the keys to the kingdom here. We're talking about internet garbage.
The jab.